Have you ever found something in your personal belongings or at a thrift store yard sale and thought, well, I really like the structure of that, but I can't stand the color? Follow me today as I take you on a small, quick journey on how to flip your existing decor into something amazing. Anybody can do this, and it takes very little time.
Let's go ahead and dive right in. This is a terracotta painted and glazed piece. I did not care for the brown that was in this at all or how it was placed on here. So I am taking out my Eden DIY paint. This is from the most recent release of paint colors, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous foresty brown or green. I love it. I love, love, love this color. And what we're going to do is go ahead and get a first coat on here. I'm going to give it a quick dry, and then we're going to get a second coat on here as well. And while I am painting this, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Sandra, and I am the owner and creator here at Midwest Charm. I specialize in repurposed, upcycled vintage home decor as well as all of your crafty needs. I sell DIY paint, Sweet Pickins milk paint, IOD, let's see, recycled treasures, Connie lines and designs, and more, y'all. It's great. I love my little storefront, but you can also find us online at www.midwestcharm.co, as well as on all of the social medias. And everything for that is linked below, as well as all of the products that I am using today. As you can see, I'm getting really, really good coverage. This is a clay-based paint. It will need to be sealed. It is also water reactivated so that you can wet distress, which just means taking a wet towel, paper towel, baby wipe, and rubbing it off where you would like to have some of the previous color peek through. So we are also going to be doing a little bit of blending, and you don't have to do this. Like I said in my intro, this is a quick and easy way just to really, really make one of your pieces turn into something beautiful. You could just seal this up with a water-based sealer. On this, I would recommend the Big Top by DIY, or you could use one of their waxes, clear or colored. And we're going to be using a combination of those for this project. Look at this color, you guys. It is so stinking beautiful. And as this is going on, I'm going to grab another brush and I'm going to grab my DIY paint in cake batter. And I have already started applying it here, but I'm just dipping that second paintbrush into a pile of cake batter. And then I am smearing that onto the piece. And I'm starting in the natural crevices on this pumpkin and then blending it outward and downward. But I really want to make sure that it's got that color in there and you can tell. So we're going to do that all around the whole top. And then I'm going to flip this over once I have it dry here. And then we're going to flip that over and then we are going to blend in the cake batter on the bottom. Once we have all of that blended in, we are going to let it dry because once this is dry, we are going to seal it up. And there I was just doing a quick little touch up where I just didn't think it had blended enough. Let's go ahead and flip this pumpkin over and you can see how I do the blending from beginning to end. And this is the exact same process that I did on the top of this piece. I've got my Eden right here and I'm going to apply a coat of this. And while it is still wet, I am going to go in with that extra paintbrush. I used a popsicle stick to scoop some of the cake batter onto my paper there, and I'm just going to dip my brush in there so that if it mixes with the green, it's not contaminating my whole thing of paint. But you can see here, I've given that another coat and kind of worked it up into where we've already done it. Then I'm going to put that brush into the yellow and then into the crevices of our little pumpkin here. And I'm going to go all the way around. And then we are going to blend it all in. And that's just a matter of exactly how much you will like to do that or don't. And again, this would be totally optional. I just wanted this to have a little bit more movement to the paint and not be a solid color. Now you can get variations like this in multiple ways, and another way is by sealing it up. Once this piece has completely dried, we will be adding wax. And I'm going to scoop some wax out and put that on the paper as well. And we are going to scoop out some clear wax, some dark wax, and some white wax. We're going to add highlights and lowlights, and I want to make sure that this really has some great color to it. This is, again, a very simple process, and here you can see the pumpkin has great variation of color, which we all know pumpkins have amazing colors. Nature gives it beauty in ways we can't replicate even with paint, but we can try. And that's what we're doing. So here we have put out our paint like I had talked about. And then I'm just going to grab my different brushes. I have separate brushes for each of these colors. That one's just a little crusty. I'm going to dip it in my clear, and then I'm going to do a full coat of clear on this entire pumpkin. This will allow me to move around my colored waxes without it getting too heavy in any one spot. And if it does go in too heavy in any spot, you can definitely go back over it with the clear and it will act as an eraser. So you can see here that just deepens that color again, and then it will dry somewhere in between the two shades that it is. Wax is a great sealer for my decor pieces. I love using it. It gives me the ability to really add some dimension to it. But I also just like the way it feels as well. You will see that I use it quite a bit. You'll see me grab here my popsicle stick and scoop out a little bit more so that I'm not mixing those colors of waxes together. And these are super duper creamy and so easy to use. I have always loved DIY's waxes. They're amazing. I absolutely cannot speak more highly of them. So we are going to just get this finished up and then we're going to start on those other two colors. So what we're going to do is take out a brush for the dark wax, and the dark wax is going to go into the crevices and then around the stem and on the stem. And then the white, I'm just going to put on the top of the pumpkin on the more wide parts. So you can see here in this part where the light is reflecting on the pumpkin there, and that's where we want to keep the white at, is on those parts, because that's where the light is going to naturally bounce off, and we want that part to really be highlighted while that the brown sticks down in and really makes those pieces pop. Let's pull out those colored waxes. We are going to start with the white and put that along the top on the wider pieces of this pumpkin. And then I'm either going to use my towel to kind of rub those in or add some more in with the brush. And then I'm going to take an artist brush and go into all of the nooks and crannies of this pumpkin with that, and then leave it sit for just a minute here or however long you want for the colors to really absorb into that clear wax. And then we are going to just take shop towels. I always grab two, one to hold the piece so I'm not leaving fingerprints, and another one to buff back the colors. And again, you can keep adding or using clear wax to subtract exactly for the look that you want to have. Stay tuned to the very end to see the final results of this piece. The wax does take a little bit to cure and even out. So sometimes in my pictures, I take them almost immediately after finishing the project, and I don't always wait for that wax to totally cure up. So they may look a little splotchy, but I promise you in the end, they are not. So I am just adding and going in and making sure that this looks how I want before we go to buff it. And yes, we're going to do the bottom too. And then again, we're going to pull out the shop towels that I like to use. And I do use these for more than one project. Just depends on where I'm working at and the different areas I have, like my partially used ones that I'll just use again. And I'm just buffing it off here, and I'm kind of leaving that brown wax in those crevices and then just kind of buffing back everything else. But this helps to add even more dimension and color than what we added in there with the paint. And I am loving this. This definitely goes into the vibe of my store so much better than it did with that original color. And I can't wait to hear what you guys think of my final result. Did I upcycle this into something beautiful? Would you have picked these colors? Would you now? And yes, you can go back in at any point and add more or less to your piece. And here it is. Make sure you comment below what you think.
What did you think? Did I transform that? It's so quick and easy. I kept that all in real time. The only time I had it pause is if I was using the heat gun to dry it quicker for y'all. But seriously, so easy to find something you like and transform it into something you love. It's just a matter of some paint and a sealer. And honestly, if it's decor, you don't necessarily need to have that sealer if you don't have it on hand. But paint can transform anything. And if you paint it and hate it, wipe it off, start over. It's so simple and easy to take existing items and transform them into amazing home decor. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really does help out small little businesses like mine. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content and want to see more of it. And you guys follow me because I like to do videos twice a week. And I'm getting back into doing that now that school's back in session, and I can't wait to share all of my projects with you. We'll see you guys all next time. Bye.